Hello, welcome folks to the August 2017 call for our Dynamics 365 community. So we'd like to welcome everybody. This is the first call of the Microsoft fiscal new year. So we're excited to be back after taking a little bit of a break in July with Inspire. We will be recording this session. Just to let everybody know, we'll also answer questions. So if you do have a question during the presentation, you can feel free to ask it under messages, and we'll answer as many as they can. If we do not get to your question, we will post answers to the unanswered questions on our Yammer group. So again, this will be recorded. We'll share the slides, so you'll have access to everything after the fact. So for today, we're going to cover a couple different topics. And I'm sorry I didn't introduce myself. This is Karen Moen, and I've got Barb Barrowman with me today. I'm going to be talking first about Inspire announcements. For those of you who were there, this might be a little bit of a review. But for those of you who missed it, we'll talk a lot about what was announced there. Then Barb is going to dig into the Dynamics 365 July update. So we'll cover those two in the first and second halves today. Just a little plug for our community call coming up in September. We'll have a special guest for that one to talk about increasing profitability with repeatable IP and industry focus, which becomes more and more important, especially with some of the things we'll talk about here that were discussed at Inspire. So let's go ahead and jump into that. So this, we have a tremendous opportunity right now when we think about digital transformation. If you look at this slide here, the digital transformation, this is kind of the slide, and these numbers are looking at the total addressable market for digital transformation is $4.5 trillion worldwide. So if you think about Microsoft, we've over the years we've had larger visions, right? Bill Gates in the mid '90s said we want a PC and Windows device on every desktop and in every home. And if you look at the market size for that, that was about $25 billion worldwide. We've made a couple iterations off of that. One was, democratizing the data center, and a lot of that came with our server products. When we moved into that space, that increased the market tenfold. And then we did that again with the three bold ambitions that Satya talked about a couple of years ago, which were reinventing productivity and business process, building the intelligent cloud, and more personal computing. And that, again, expanded the total addressable market for that to $2.5 trillion. Now, here we are in 2017, and we're looking again at another larger opportunity with digital transformation with our customers. And we feel we're in a great position to help our customers with that, and really it's you, our partners, that make this happen. So how do we, many of you, we've talked about digital transformation in the past, but this again was a big topic at Inspire, and what Satya kicked off the event with this. So we've had a few slight changes here. We're looking at dividing our technology innovation areas into these four solution areas here. These are nothing new, but they're kind of four new groupings. So you've got the modern workplace that includes devices, Windows 10, Office 365, and we made an announcement at Inspire, an announcement of Microsoft 365, which brings all of those solutions together, and I'll talk a little bit more about that. Then, of course, we have business applications, and this is all about everything that we care about in the Dynamics community, right? Dynamics drives our business applications. We've got new integrations with LinkedIn that are coming down, and all of these things, both the modern workplace, business applications, can enable digital transformation. If you think about modern workplaces with devices and Office 365 to empower employees, business applications like the integration between Dynamics 365 and LinkedIn is all about allowing salespeople to better engage their customers. We have apps and infrastructure, which is really leveraging all the capabilities in Azure and the hybrid cloud to create new opportunities for our customers, such as, optimizing their operations. And last but not least is data and AI. So really infusing intelligence into everything that we do, and things that that are already out there are cross-sell and upsell capabilities that we've added into Dynamics. So allowing people to make decisions based on data using machine learning and artificial intelligence to lead to the next best action. And that there translates to digital transformation for our customers, maybe transforming the products that our customers are offering there. So we have these 4 solution areas. These are really the technical side and the technical innovation that we're investing in and the technical side of our customers' plans. And they're really going to map to the business outcomes that we want to drive with digital transformation. And again, this is where you as our partners play such a critical role. So let's dig a little bit deeper into this. A couple of the announcements at Inspire around Microsoft 365, and then we'll dig into Dynamics, which is everything that you guys care about. We wanted to touch on Microsoft 365 because it was the big product announcement at Inspire. If you remember last year in July of 2016, it was all about Dynamics 365. This time it was very much about Microsoft 365, and we're really pulling together Office 365, Windows 10, and our enterprise mobility and security suites into a single solution, right? So we felt it's important for you to understand this because this is just part of the larger platform, right, that Dynamics rides on top of and allows you to extend into. So it's important to, if you get questions on Microsoft 365 from your customers, you have at least a basic understanding of what it is. So it's meant to do these 4 things. So these are kind of the pillars and main principles of Dynamics 365. You'll see intelligence and everything, right? A complete intelligence solution that empowers everyone to be creative and work together securely. So this is all about unlocking creativity, creating a platform with Windows 10 to do that, built for teamwork. That's all about Office 365, right? Allowing teams to collaborate however they need to collaborate. Teams will have a choice on how they work together for very small customers and one-to-one conversations all the way up to company-wide town halls, for instance. So kind of a broad and deep set of apps and services that allow collaborating, sharing files, working together, communicating much easier. The integration for simplicity is all about IT management. This is the Enterprise Mobility Suite, allowing IT management to streamline how they deploy things to users, device, application services. Instead of having silos, let's break down those silos. Let's make it easy to get the applications out to the devices and to the users quickly. And then lastly is all around security. We need to make sure that we're securing our customers' data and that they trust the security, that we're safeguarding the data and IP, but we're also not impeding productivity at the same time. So we all know, the cyber threats continue to increase out there. So security is top of mind for everyone, including folks in the boardroom. So providing the capabilities integrated into the management so that we can provide security, but not inhibit productivity so that we can unlock this creativity and teamwork that needs to happen. So there will be two versions, for lack of a better term, for Microsoft 365. There'll be a business and enterprise edition meant to address smaller customers and larger. And you can see some of the dates here. Public preview of the business edition is there, and then the enterprise was available on the price list August 1st. So the last thing on this I want to touch on is just the fact that there is, all of these things that we're doing around digital transformation and our solution areas is to map to the opportunity that's out there, the opportunity for Microsoft and the opportunity for you as partners to increase your business, increase your profitability. So this is just a Forrester study that was done around Microsoft 365 and the partner opportunity. You can see that, there's an opportunity of $1,500 per user for revenue, which is 50% more than just Office 365. So by bringing these things together, we're increasing that opportunity. Now, all of you are Dynamics partners. You may or may not do anything with Microsoft 365, but we think it's just important for you to understand this as the platform and that there is an opportunity there. And then look at the margin. If you could make $700 per user at your customers, that probably would be a pretty good margin. So again, Microsoft 365 is really kind of is central. Our customers saying they first need a platform to enable digital transformation, and then you build on top of that platform with business applications. And that's where Dynamics comes in. So that's a little bit about Microsoft 365. Let's switch gears here to the next kind of big announcement that was made by Ron Huddleston. And this is all about one commercial partner. So have made changes to our partner organization to address a number of things. First of all, we're not just asking you and our customers to transform, we're doing it ourselves. So we're transforming our products and solutions, like with Microsoft 365, but we're also transforming our organization to better align. We recognize there's always an opportunity to enhance how we work with you, our partners, to unlock this opportunity. So the creation of one commercial partner is meant to do that. So there were really three challenges that the creation of one commercial partner is meant to address. One, breaking down the barriers of internal silos. So we had a number of different partner groups, right? We had partner groups working with GSIs and some with ISVs and some with SMB partners and some with hosting partners, all in their own silos. We've broken down those silos and brought all of those groups into one organization. We also are striving to then reduce complexity and the multiple programs. You have these different partner groups kind of doing their own things in their own silos that create confusion for you as the partner. So reducing the complexity, and the models of traditional partners have been blurred over the years, right? We have our SIs maybe developing IP, so system integrators might be becoming more of an ISV. So there's no way to call a partner one thing anymore, right? Traditional models of partners no longer exist necessarily. So that was another important reason why we've done this. And these are all the things on this slide that we're trying to enable, right? We're really trying to enable profitable growth for you as our partners. When you're successful, Microsoft is successful. So a few things in that are, enhanced technical readiness and practice building, joint go-to-market campaigns that are aligned to solution areas, more effective co-selling with our Microsoft selling teams, and then just overall enhancing the partner experience. So you see in the graphic there, the partner's at the center, and we have a number of different roles that around that are meant to enable and help you as a partner. So let's dig into, just do a click here a little bit deeper on the organization and some of these roles. So the big change here is we built the organization into three areas. There's build with, go to market, and sell with. So these are the three areas that align with, and there's roles and responsibilities. Again, all within one organization, working together to support a partner from end to end. So that is definitely one big change. Another thing you see there under partner specialization is that we've simplified. We've gone from 18 categories of partners to 4 ways that we view partners and do business. And so we've got ISVs, system integration, managed services, and channels. And so we still needed a way to designate partners as for maybe what their core competency is in some way, but we no longer have silos and different groups supporting these different partners. It's one organization. So that will feed into the build with side. And the build with area consists really of what we're calling a pod of field resources that include technical and business enablement resources. They do partner management. They recruit, develop, launch, and grow partners. So you can see a couple roles there: partner development manager, partner technical strategist. These are roles aligned to a partner to help them build their business. It's not about, they're not responsible for just the sales pipeline anymore. They're focused on overall partner success and responsible for the success as you as a partner. The partner technical strategist role is actually one that Barb and myself will be fulfilling out in the field. Next, you see in the middle is really the go-to-market. And this role is responsible for aligning partners with the customer and market opportunities through offers and responsible for ensuring kind of the success of the end-to-end workload. So this is the group that is looking at the solution areas, looking at the partners coming from Build With, what are our partners that we have out in the market, what do the selling teams need, and making this connection between the solutions that we need from in the sell with side, and then bringing that feedback back into the Build With organization. Say, hey, we need partners that could do field service for Dynamics 365, for instance. So again, this go-to-market role kind of in the middle, the engine that will align all of our marketing go-to-market plays that will align to the solution areas to enable digital transformation. The last piece there on sell with is this is all about channel management and territory success. So channel managers is kind of a new term, and it's similar to the old partner sales executive, similar to that role but different. And these resources will be aligned with enterprise and scale customers and will be responsible for the overall success of their territory, and ensuring that partners contribute to that success. So their role is to understand all the partners working in their territory, bring those partners and co-sell with them with the Microsoft selling teams. So these people are very, very focused on delivering success in these areas. They're not partner managers anymore. That's what the partner development manager and the partner technology strategist are all about: partner development, working with the partner on success. The channel managers are all about driving that success in the markets they're responsible for. So lastly, you see a couple different things across the bottom. You see the technical roles. So we have a shared group of solution architects focused on workloads. And these folks can deliver, the deep technical knowledge to help you build new or enhance existing practices or solutions. So as a partner technology strategist, we'll be working closely with these solution architects. If you want to build a new practice on X, we can dip into all of those cloud solution architects across our workloads, Dynamics, Azure, Office 365, and bring them in with the deep technical expertise to help you. And then alongside that, we'll have the programs and incentives that you're all very familiar with. The other thing you see at the end there is customer segmentation. So the one commercial partner is a big change in our partner organization. The other thing that we have done is changed things on the customer side too, and within our sales organization. So let's talk a little bit more about that. Let me build this slide out here. So we're again here. You see simplifying our customer model. So we're trying to make it simpler to engage and understand who's doing what. We no longer have, as a partner resource, I don't care what customer you're selling into. If it's enterprise, if it's corporate, if it's SMB, I'm worried about your success no matter what customer segment you have. So we're getting rid of those silos as well along customer segmentation. And then we're trying to make it easier. So you see here the change from FY17 to 18. We still have what used to be EPG is now called enterprise, and there's two groups, strategic and enterprise customers within that. Strategic, very large worldwide customers, and enterprise, again, some of our larger customers. Then you see SMS&P is now small, medium, and corporate. So you'll hear the acronym SMC. And SMC, small, medium, corporate, is broken down into two areas, corporate and SMB. So kind of our traditional SMS&P customers will fit into one of those spaces. So we've tried, again, to get rid of some acronyms and simplify the customer model. Let's dig a little bit deeper into this so you can see how this will be kind of the structure of this from the Microsoft perspective. So in the enterprise space, we're going to have the account team units where you have account executives and account technology strategists. We have the specialist team units, which are the SSPs and TSPs across the technologies. These are two teams that if you work with enterprise customers, you're familiar with, right? These structures have existed before. The new thing in the enterprise model is the customer success unit. So we've added a new organization, which is all about once the customer has made the purchase, let's get that consumption going on the back end. So this customer success unit is all about enabling the customer with consumption with what they purchased. And again, a very important group of people that will work with our partners to make that happen. You see underneath that, marketing and operations and one commercial partner. So one commercial partner will be a key player in supporting orchestration, implementation, all of the things we do with those enterprise customers. Down below, it's a little different model for the small, medium, and corporate. We have two things. We'll have a global demand center. That's the marketing engine. We'll have inside sales. We've had some inside sales groups, but that will increase. And those inside sales folks will work very closely with field salespeople. So we'll still have folks out in the field supporting customers, but we'll support that broad set of customers with additional inside sales resources so that we can scale much better. You see, one commercial partner is on par with all of those groups. So many of you work with our small or corporate or SMB customers. Again, you as partners play a critical role in that customer set and will continue to do so as a key player to drive Microsoft and your profitability through those customers. Another thing that we are doing is to enable kind of the idea of digital transformation. It's important to have industry knowledge. So another big thing that was announced at WPC was all about industry focus. These are the industries that we'll be initially focusing on and aligning account teams to as appropriate. And then you can also see the geographic regions across the U.S. So that's another key change. So those are some of the changes on the sales side that I wanted to cover. Now let's talk about the opportunity for you as Dynamics partners. So if you take that 4.5 trillion, 72 billion of that is around Dynamics. And we've done some work to figure out the opportunity across the different applications that make up Dynamics, sales, marketing, customer service, as well as industries. So you can see there's a huge opportunity in sales, 7.1 billion, a huge opportunity in operations, a $30 billion opportunity. These are the buckets that we're looking for to drive digital transformation. And we're going to align our go-to-market strategies against the opportunity that you see here. So that's what this next slide is talking about. Here, these are our go-to-market strategies for Dynamics 365. You can see they kind of map back to the previous slide. again, we'll provide these slides for you so you can have them as reference. But these are our big go-to-market strategies that we're going to be focusing on this year across sales, with relationship sales, which is the LinkedIn integration, our new talent application that's a part of Dynamics 365, a big focus on customer service, field service, and then finance and operations. So these, you'll see a lot things coming out. There's one of these areas that you focus on. Look for go-to-market materials in all of these big areas. So what could you be doing, and what's important for you as Dynamics partners as we move forward with this? Well, we've talked about this for a while, but we've talked and we've looked at successful Dynamics partners and what they do. One thing they do is they generally have an industry focus, and they're building IP around that industry focus as a strategy. So we're going to continue to encourage you as partners to do that. And here are some things that can help you really. First of all, adopt innovation. Continue to utilize the resources to build your capabilities and expertise. Evolve your operating model. If you're an SI, maybe you want to think about developing some IP. That IP does not have to be an ISV application. Maybe it's just IP around a particular solution area, like field service, for example. Amplify your go-to-markets. Think about the go-to-market strategies that we have, and maybe how do you map to that based on your expertise as a partner. How can you build on top of the platform? There's more capabilities than ever to build applications on top of Dynamics 365, just using the core XRM platform or Power Apps and Flow and Logic Apps and the Common Data Service, all the business application capabilities that allow you to build on top of that. And then lastly, leveraging the programs. And you see a bunch of resources here that you could point to get more information. But these are some of the things you want to be thinking about as you move forward. Another thing that was announced at Inspire that's very important for you as a Dynamics partner is our Microsoft ISV Cloud Embed program. It's really designed to help you along the path of extending the platform and building IP. So it's a program for ISVs, but not just ISVs, for any partner to quickly get started on building finished applications on top of Microsoft Cloud Services, and that includes Dynamics. So you could purchase some of the building blocks and through the CSP channel. And I'll show you what those building blocks are here in a second. So it really gives you the opportunity at a discounted rate to buy those building blocks so you can build your solutions on top of that, and then again turn around and sell that to your customers. So let's take a look at what those building blocks are. So this again, these are different embeddable building block SKUs that will be available to you. There's Power Apps, Flow, and then of course you see the Dynamics 365 ones there. So again, these are offers. You can see down at the bottom there specific details, on pricing will be announced in Q3 calendar year. So I don't know exactly the timing, but some you'll see some of that pricing coming out fairly soon. Power BI Embedded will be is actually already available July 12th. And then some of the other things coming up a little bit later this year. So all of these, again, are available to you. So if you want to build an application that sits on top of Dynamics 365, you can purchase Dynamics 365, the licensing component of that at a very inexpensive rate, build your application on top of that, and then again, resell that to your customers. So again, a program that's trying to enable you to extend the platform, whether it be Dynamics 365 or something else. And then this last slide here that I have is just some resources for you. To learn a little bit more about the ISV Cloud Embed. There's a resource hub there, there's a blog announcement, and a way to actually sign up for that program. So that's what I wanted to talk a little bit about around Inspire announcements. And now I'm going to hand off to Barb, and she's going to jump into the July update. Hey, Barb.
Hello, can you hear me okay?
Yep, you sound great.
Awesome. Well, the first thing that I was going to talk about is kind of the July update. If you are in the Insider Preview program, we are going to, hopefully you received an email that that hopefully those tenants will be rolling out this week, and that's also in addition to Business Edition. So if you sign up for the Insider program for both the July 2017 update and Business Edition, those should be rolling out here shortly. So some of the top components that we see in the update were the LinkedIn integration, customer insights, the new user interface, Business Edition, and the kind of some more changes that we made to the platform to make it a little bit more extensible. I'm just going to kind of touch base today on customer insights, the user interface, and the new platform changes. We did a session already on the LinkedIn integration in June. I did notice that we didn't quite get that posted out to our YouTube site yet, so I'll make sure we get that one posted out there. So if you want to see more information about that, I'd highly recommend you watch that session. And then Business Edition is kind of a larger topic, so I think we'll probably be touching and spending a whole hour with that on the next topic, probably in the next couple of months as that gets more general availability. Alrighty, so we're going to talk about the customer insights, and we're going to introduce a new term, or it's not really a new term, but one that's kind of coming back as Customer 360, with the view that we want to see exactly what's happening with that customer. We want to see more information on it and pulling it from different areas so that we can make better connections with that customer at those appropriate times. Dynamics Customer Insights, it's actually an Azure service, and it's currently in preview. And what we're going to be doing, we're going to be building on top of maybe what you had seen with Relationship Insights in Dynamics 365. And we're going to be giving you more data points that we can pull in. So we'll have a connector for Office 365 for the Exchange, and we'll be able to grab email and calendar information. We're going to give more analytics based on information that we're seeing in the records. And we're going to be leveraging Power BI. So you can see that probably looks like a Power BI type of a report, and we're going to be leveraging Power BI for the data visualizations and Power Apps for the composition. The other thing we're introducing for you guys into your vocabulary is a new acronym. This one threw me for a loop for a while, so I wanted to make sure everyone else was aware of it, but DCI stands for Dynamics Customer Insights. So if you guys see that acronym out there, get you ahead of the curve and you'll know what we're talking about. All right, as I mentioned, we're pulling in more data sources, and that this is a service on top of Azure here. What you can see is that we're going to have data, both internal and external data, and both what we consider transactional and behavioral data. So we'll pull in, let's say, data from Exchange, and we'll see how many emails that you've sent out to that customer, and how many emails they've sent back to you, and how many have been read, and how many meetings you're having with that customer. And then we'll grab other information like, are they on your website? What are they doing on your website? Have they attended any events that you have hosted? And then some of that transactional stuff that we always think of is what are the cases and what have they purchased from us. We'll grab all that information, and that, again, we'll be using the Cortana intelligence suite there and like Azure Machine Learning, and we're going to manipulate that data and give you really good insights so that your salespeople can take action on that. Maybe we're going to see that there's a very large deal that has a really high revenue in your pipeline, and it's supposed to close in like a week, but they have kind of a lower what do I want to say? They're not happy with us. Maybe they posted something negative on social media, or maybe the last 10 emails that you sent over them haven't been opened. So that will kind of bubble up to the top, and that is someone that you need to reach out to right away so that your employees can take action on them. Allow you to get more targeted marketing. If a customer is a happier customer, they have a higher sentiment, and you're doing a rollout of a new product, you're going to want to reach out to the people that are happy with your solution rather than the ones that aren't happy with it. So if you're doing that soft rollout, you can find a better target market for them as you're doing that rollout. So it's again, I'm just kind of touching the top of what this application can do. And again, it's a great opportunity too if you're looking for expanding into Azure services and you're looking for trying to build some more Azure revenue with your customers. Dynamics for Customer Insights would be a great opportunity to expand upon that. We don't have a survey created for today's show, so if you guys are interested in seeing more about Dynamics Customer Insights, please drop a little note in the messages window so that we know kind of where that interest lies. And if you'd like to see like more of a deep dive on that, we can do that for you guys. All right, so when we talk about what have we done with the platform, we have added user session management, so the ability to control the user session on how long that they could stay logged in, and also from an inactivity period standpoint, if they've been inactive a certain amount of time, we can log them out. We've enabled third-party search. We have now allowed a customer-initiated backup and restore process and the ability to back up into the Azure file store or offline. And we've introduced virtual entities, which I think is something that people are very excited about, that ability to kind of pull in third-party data or data that's not within Dynamics 365 right at runtime and not having to worry about that replication of data. So the current preview that I'm on, that I'm going to demo today, unfortunately, I don't have kind of some of these new features that are coming out. And one of them is to be able to show you what these the session timeouts look like. So I just grabbed some screenshots for that. So you can see here the session timeout. You can set that from a minimum of 60 minutes out to a maximum of 24 hours. And then you also have the ability to set a warning for that customer that you're going to be logged out here in a certain amount of time, and you can set how long that goes. Then also from an inactivity standpoint, same thing. The minimum from an inactivity standpoint is 5 minutes, maximum is 24 hours. And again, how often do you want to warn them? And I'll show you where these will be showing up in my demo. Okay, so virtual entities. Again, really this is the concept of having data be able to be plugged into Dynamics 365 right at runtime. When we look at it, partners have been working with how to bring in data from external sources for a long time, and we've just never really had any really good choices. You could do an embedded page on the client side with a URL that's pulling in some data, but then you couldn't really work with that data too much. On the server side, you could do a bulk import and bring all that data in so you could manipulate it more and actually do something with that data. But then you're in a situation where you have two storage areas. You have it stored in Dynamics 365 and you have it stored in your external data source, and then you have to, which one is the master and kind of keeping them sync. It wasn't a very good situation. And there were probably some times when maybe for privacy or security reasons, customers didn't want to bring that into Dynamics 365. So we're hoping to help out with that with the virtual entities. We have out of the box a data a data connector for OData endpoints. And so that would be something that you wouldn't need to do any coding to connect up to an OData endpoint. And we'll have the same for the Azure Cosmos database. So again, with both of, if you had data residing in those types of areas, without having to do any coding out of the box, you'll be able to connect up to those into Dynamics 365. From a custom perspective, you can pretty much do whatever you want. So maybe you have a legacy system and you wanted to bring in some data from that, then you'd have to do some coding and some development from that perspective, but you would be able to do that too. All right, so what does it look like from a configuration standpoint? The virtual entities are still going to be an entity in our system, and there's just going to be a flag on there that clicks to say that we want this to be a virtual entity. That's just kind of telling the system too that there's really nothing stored in the SQL database. It is just going to be a link to this data provider that we're going to be grabbing that data, and that's what's going to be coming in. You can see here that this one for the data source for this is the Contoso widgets OData. From a customer's perspective, if this is information that's coming in from a virtual entity, it's going to look exactly the same. They will not really be able to see a difference between that data. We can support lookup fields, so you could do a lookup to, this widget that we're trying to find here, and it would be exactly like the customer would expect it to be if we're doing a lookup on a data that's inside of the system, and we can even support subgrids. All right, and the last thing too we're going to talk about is the user interface, and I thought I would just showcase that in my demo. So let me go ahead and share my desktop here. And
Looks
Karen,
good,
if you want to, awesome,
yep,
excellent.
I'm seeing it. Looks good.
All right, so here we are, and this is the an older preview instance that that we got access to, but it does have some of the stuff that I wanted to showcase for you guys today. The new user interface, you can kind of see in the header section here, it's a little bit of a darker gray so that we're outlining more and trying to kind of compartmentalize or containerize where things are and where things start and where they end. We have kind of the lighter gray down on the side, and then white, boxed all around is where that body of that form is at. We've tried to keep all of the fonts the same so that it looks a little bit nicer, a little bit better with wrapping. So you won't see as much of, hopefully, words kind of scrunching together. Let's see, if you have an area where you can add information, we have kind of these dotted lines so that the customers or the customers can see that that's where information that we want to be able to put into the system. So it's a little bit, draw your attention to that, something that can be entered in there. You can see here, this is the new multi-select entity option, and I'll show you kind of how to set that up. But you can see here that there are 5 different options that you could choose from, and they chose 3 of them to kind of connect the hobbies that this person had. What else do we have over here in the other area? When it's just kind of along the same lines of having those dotted lines to indicate that that's where data can go. If we do have no data in the field, we have a little kind of a note there just to showcase that this is intentionally white space. We're expecting you to put some stuff here. So you can see here there aren't any notes to show. So if you want to get started, just enter in a note. Alrighty, so I think that's it from the user interface. Let me go over to settings. And I'm going to go into administration and then system settings. I'm going to show you where you would find the ability to set up those user session management times. So based on what I've seen, I believe it's going to be right down here after kind of these two. So again, we're in the general, and then we're just going to go all the way down to the bottom, and that's where you're going to be able to find those user session settings. Alrighty, and then let's go into customizations. And I'm going to go into the entities here and show you kind of what it would look like when you were setting up a virtual entity. So if I were to click on a new entity, you can see here we have a flag for a virtual entity. You can see right now when it's not clicked, this data source is grayed out. If I click that, then we have the ability to collect that or select that data source, and we have a couple of test data services set up in there. Not a lot of fun to show on virtual entities. But what I wanted to end with, which I think has been asked for a really long time, is the ability to have that multi-select option set. So let me go into the account entity here, and I'm going to set up a new multi-select option set for us. I'm going to call it area. And you can see down here in the data type, we have the new one, which is the multi-select option set. And we do have the ability to use an existing option set. So if you already have a global set that you would want to use and allow people to select multiple options off of that, you're going to be able to use that. I'm just going to add a couple of different territories here. Just to kind of make our example, grab some of the territories that we've seen in Microsoft World. Alrighty. And then let's go to our main account form, and I'll just add that on there real quick and show you how that shows up. Hopefully. There we go. All right, let's go to the main account form. And we'll grab that area. Oh, did I zip past it? There we go. And I'm just going to put it right at the top so we can find it easy. And we'll save. And publish. And hopefully, if all the demo gods are with me today, we'll be able to get out here in a second and look at that account and show you what that multi-select option looks like. While it's still publishing here, you can put it in a view. And in that view, then you could filter and you could select, like, I want to see whoever has areas of North Central and South Central, or you could do North Central or South Central. So in that filtering, you can do any of the and or statements that you're used to seeing, again, in any of those views. All right, I'm pushing too much here. I'm doing a demo and then doing it on a preview instance, so I might have pushed my luck too much. Well, why don't I do this? Why don't I go back to the presentation and finish up my last two, and we'll see if we have a second at the end. To go back to that one. All right, Karen, are we seeing the presentation again?
I sure am.
Looks good. Excellent. Okay, well, the last two areas that I wanted to just briefly kind of touch base on, again, these are areas that could almost take up their whole session, is the two new applications we brought out kind of under that operations area, which is Enterprise Edition for Talent. And that is really just an HR management. If you think back to when Karen was showcasing the opportunity sizes, the revenue that we saw in some of these areas, talent management was one that had a higher area, and we're hoping to acquire or capture some of that revenue with this application. It's going to help everything from the talent onboarding. We can have some integration within LinkedIn to maybe recognize some people that are interested in moving positions, all the way down to the actual onboarding process and an employee self-service, so that once you do get that person hired, that they are very interested and they are going to have a good experience when they first start with you, because we see a lot of talent that will start with a company and then leave right away because they just have a bad onboarding process. We also have the retail, which is just more of that modern cloud-ready point of service type of an application, and pulling in, allowing you to grab how people are purchasing from across those different channels. A lot of online purchases are done now, but there's still a lot of people that are going into brick and mortar, and that ability to be able to capture information about that person regardless of where they are shopping is what you're going to get with that retail edition. I wanted to follow up with some of the resources. So DLP is our best resource for any of those Dynamics 365 applications. For talent, we have a ton of training out there. There's over 12 hours of training for the talent application. Not quite so much for retail, but there are a couple of trainings out there, about an hour from the retail perspective, that you can get your training on. And then any information on the Dynamics 365 July update, the best place is still the Connect, but you must have registered for the preview program to get access to those applications. As soon as we get more information that's more readily available, we'll certainly get you pointed to that. But in the Connect, we had about 3 days of videos and PowerPoints that are covering everything, and then there's going to be some information about Business Edition too. Lastly, we wanted to just again call out what we're doing with our September Dynamics community call. That's going to be on September 12th at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time again. We actually hosted this session at Inspire. We had Harold Horgan he's the CEO of the York Group, come in and talk about what it means to kind of do some changes to your business and look about adding repeatable IP into your model and having more of an industry focus and what that would mean to your overall business organization. We had really, really good reviews from the partners that attended that. So we asked Harold to come back and actually speak on the community call. So that is what we're going to be doing in September. So I highly recommend that. Maybe there's some people in your group, more of the business owners or organization marketing. It's going to be kind of for a lot of different people within your company. So please spread the word that we're going to be hosting this. And again, we will always record it. So if people aren't available, we will be able to review that for you guys afterwards. And I think that is it. So let me do this. Let me zip back out to my desktop again. And hopefully, are we seeing my preview again?
Yep, I'm seeing it just fine.
Awesome. And look at that. It did come in for me. It just took a while. But here's our multi-select option. I can select multiple territories that I'm going to be selling into. And it's going to display nicely again in there, taking care of some of those wrap issues we might have seen before. Whoofda! Really glad that one worked out. So with that, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap today's call. So thank you, everyone, for taking time out of your day to spend with us. Again, any questions that we didn't get answered will pop out into the Yammer group. We will post the slide deck out onto the Yammer group, and then we will also have this recording will be out on our YouTube, and we'll make sure we get the LinkedIn one back from June to be put up there too. And again, just a final push. If hopefully you guys can all join us for September for Harold to speak. It's going to be a really great session. So thanks everyone, and have a great day.